Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to the Give Them Lala podcast. I have never been so hyped in my mother effing life. You guys know I live under a rock. I find things out 2 months after they happen. But today, we are going to be in the effing know when it comes to pop culture because I have Kristi cook with Spill Sesh, and I'm so excited. And Easton's excited too. And
I'm so excited, you
have
guys.
No idea.
Thanks for having me. I'm just so
Thank you
excited
for coming.
about
Thank you for
chatting
being
with
here.
you guys about all this stuff today.
Can I ask, how old are you?
27.
You're 27. You're a baby. Oh my gosh. You started with TMZ?
Yes, like I worked there for 4 years. So when I first moved to LA, I was like a Warner Brothers tour guide for 5 minutes. And then I started working at TMZ and I was like 19.
What made you gravitate towards TMZ and working there?
I was applying to any job. Honestly, like when I was first moving to LA, I just wanted any job that would allow me to stay in LA. And I've always wanted to work in some form of journalism, whether it was like entertainment news or if it was local news. I would have taken any job. I just loved making videos and stories, and I was just obsessed with it. So I applied to so many jobs. I didn't even remember applying to TMZ.
Yeah.
And I just got like an email one day that they wanted me to interview to be an intern.
What is the application process like when working for TMZ?
I think, well, at the time they were owned by Warner Brothers. So
Okay.
I applied to like every job because when I was a tour guide, I got a Warner Brothers email. So then you could internally apply to jobs. Maybe that was like the hack. So then I applied to like so many jobs. And then I think it was just like, submit like all your information. And then I did like a FaceTime interview. Then I went into the office for an interview and then I got the job.
And what was being an intern? Like, were you boots on the ground trying to dig up the dirt? Were you sitting there in like the docket where you wait for like, oh, so-and-so just filed for divorce. We have to be the first to report this.
There was a department for that. But as an intern, I was saying that I would take any department to work in. Like, I just liked so many different aspects of journalism. Like, whether it was editing or filming or writing, I was down to do whatever. So I worked every day. Like, some of the interns came in like 3 days, but I was just like, I live here. Like, I need this to be like my job when I leave. I'm not leaving LA and going back to college. So I was doing it online at that time. So I was just like, okay, I'll take anything. So he let me come in every day of the week. And a couple days I would do like research where I would just sit on the computer and like look at what was going on, send anything to the news desks that I thought like we should be covering.
Yeah.
Or I was working at their like sister company, 2Fab, which is more like People magazine, like really like fun stories. And they did red carpet events. So then I would go with them whenever they did like events or would come in on the weekends and cover award show content. I was like editing stuff sometimes. So yeah, it was all over the place.
And then you just became so good at finding out all the tea that you go incognito on the gram, right?
I mean, well, so while I was working there, eventually after I did the internship, I got a job like working there full time, and I was in the photo department. So my job was just like scouring Instagram like all day long and like pitching different pictures, like Kim Kardashian on vacation, like, do we want to put this on the site?
Okay.
Like things like that, and putting photo galleries together. And after that, I was like, okay, like what else do I want to do? I was doing like freelance on the side, reporting like on the carpet. I would go to like the Kids' Choice Awards, interview people. I was just like, I want to do more. And so I was home for Christmas one year. I stumbled upon like these like tea channel videos on YouTube. I was like, okay, I think I could do that. It's literally just like text on the screen talking about influencers' lives. And then I started doing it. And then it kind of like became something. In the beginning, I feel like at that time, like mainstream media like was not covering influencer news at all. Like they didn't care about their lives. I feel like until like COVID, that's when they were like, oh wait, they're actually like celebrities and people are invested in what the heck they're doing.
Well, they were watching like their live streams constantly and all of this during COVID. So it was like, who are you going to pay to, market your product? The streamers now.
Yeah.
Because you can't, not everyone could afford the Kim Kardashians of the world.
No.
And I feel like it did happen during COVID because most people that like are celebrities, like when you think of the overall, you think of like the Angelina Jolies of the world. but they're so private. So during
Yeah.
COVID, when no one's leaving, there's not many stories coming out.
Yeah.
But these influencers or reality TV people who are, they're influencers, I would say. They're where they are because they share their lives in every minute. So
yeah, and their drama. There was like no rules, like no PR, nothing. So any drama, it was like, I'm going online to address this.
Yes.
And then I was covering that stuff. And then now over time, like everyone's talking about influencers now. Everyone's paying attention, reporting on them, mainstream media, everyone. But right in the beginning when I started, like no one was really talking about it besides like this bubble
Like
on
it was
YouTube.
a niche at that point.
Yeah.
So is that when you started your YouTube channel?
Yeah. Just like talking mostly about influencers.
Was there, and correct me if I'm wrong, the New York Times, you like basically exposed yourself.
Yeah.
Not exposed yourself. Exposed your identity.
It was anonymous. The channel was anonymous for 5 years. And then I was like, okay.
Was there a reason why you kept it anonymous?
Not really. I mean, it was just because the first couple videos that I saw people talking about influencer news, it was just text on the screen.
Okay.
And it was just like way easier that way. Then I was like, I can't spell to save my life. I need to just do a voiceover. And I don't know, I felt like I could be more myself or like tell jokes or more funny if I wasn't in the videos, like how people say you sing better in the shower, like when no one's watching or anything like that. So that's just kind of how I felt about it. And then eventually I was like, okay, I want to be able to do more with this. And I felt like the only way was if I like was more front facing.
That's a pretty big deal to have the New York Times be like, we're going to be the one to share who you've been for the past 5 years.
That was crazy.
We're going to unveil you.
Right?
Yeah.
That is
How
wild.
did you go to them and just say like, hey, I would like to be, you know, face on the screen now? Or like, how did that come to be?
So I never thought I was going to do a face reveal like ever. And then I was hanging out with my friend Sloan and he was signed with WME at the time. And I told his agent, I was like, the only way I would ever do a face reveal, because he was like, you guys should go on tour. You guys should do like a podcast, da da da. I was like, the only way I would ever do it is if I like was working with like this one like publicist, because I had seen other influencers work with her, Emily Blair. And I was like, I just feel like she would like get it right if I did a face reveal.
Okay.
So then he was like, I'll connect you. And I was like, okay. So then we started working together and I was like, all right, like I guess I have to do the face reveal now. And then they did outreach and then got the New York Times. I was shocked when they called me on the phone and they were like, okay, the New York Times wants to do it. I was like, what?
That's badass.
They were like, they're going to come to your house and like do photos. And I was literally shocked.
Well,
like,
yeah.
what?
I mean,
From
that's like such
incognito
a
to that.
it's such a prestigious publication. I can imagine that you being basically faceless for 5 years to bam, New York Times is covering you. Did you feel so exposed? You're like, I'm the one that's been sharing the nitty gritty of people's lives, and now they're going to be able to be like, that's the bitch.
I think I was just so like excited and ready for it to be like done. I think a lot of people thought I would be like more nervous after because people would know who I was. But honestly, before then, I was so nervous about people just like exposing it and it being like, oh, like that's her. And it wasn't like me that got to tell the story. Yeah. So I was just happy that it was over with and like I was so relieved because I feel like people are more curious when you are anonymous into like digging into who you are and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're not as much now that it's like out.
Yeah. No,
5
I agree.
years is a good run to not have one leak.
I know. People tried though, and I was like so nervous about it.
It's like someone revealing you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And you not being the one that gets to announce.
Yeah.
What a buzzkill.
Yeah.
Summer is full of big moments, vacations, weddings, nonstop selfies, and if you're not feeling your best or if you're having just a bad hair day, those moments can be a struggle. Luckily, my bad hair days are a thing of the past thanks to Nutrafol. I started on the Nutrafol postpartum right after Sosa was born, and I'm still taking it. I'll switch back to Nutrafol Women as soon as Sosa's off the boob. My hair has never looked fuller or better. Check out my Instagram for the proof. You may have heard of Nutrafol's hair growth supplements and wondered, do they actually work? That's a fair question. I know many hair supplements overpromise and underdeliver. But Nutrafol is different. I am feeling myself. You've heard me talking about Nutrafol hair growth supplements for years now, and I can tell you that they really do work. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. Their formulas are clinically tested and take a whole body approach to hair health. Whether you're postpartum like me or just noticing more hair on your brush lately, Nutrafol targets the root causes of thinning and supports your hair from within. Nutrafol has multiple formulas designed to support your hair's unique needs, and adding it to your routine is very easy. No prescription needed, and they even offer free shipping with automated deliveries. I love that. One less thing to remember. So this summer, stop worrying about your hair and start making memories. Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and use my promo code LALA10. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. Spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LALA10. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LALA10. So you are balls deep in all the drums. My first question for you, you're into reality TV, obviously, you have to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to be, but you are. You watch Mormon Wives.
I watch Mormon Wives.
Well, I watched a few episodes of the first season, and I've spoken about this on my podcast. Easton and I are from Utah. So for me, it was almost like when you're watching and you don't, it's like me watching like Scientology, right? Because I'm not connected to it, I can sit there and be like, this is crazy.
Wild. From like the outsider's point, it's crazy.
Right. Like, I can be invested in, like, what a freaking weird cult it is. Please don't murk me, Scientologists. I'm no threat to you.
They're actually putting, like, a hex on you right now.
I know. So when watching Mormon Wives, I was like, oh, my gosh, I, like, grew up around girls like this, where it was, like, such a weird, like, we can't drink coffee because there's caffeine, but they're face-chugging Diet Cokes.
All about their swig. Which I got to try swig when I went to the Hulu event where they were promoting Mormon Wives.
Pretty fucking good,
I was like,
right?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I couldn't be more excited. It was so good.
Wait, Swig had like a pop-up there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they are coming
It was like a
up.
huge like ABC upfronts event.
They were taking
all
like
the
a lot
Mormon
of...
Wives were there, which was also tea because the season hadn't aired yet, but you could see like there was tensions because like they just did not, like not everyone was vibing. Yeah, but they had swag.
They had swag.
And that's all that matters.
All that
That'll bring
mattered.
everyone together.
They're like, we can talk about the drama later. Have you guys tried the coconut cream in the Diet Coke?
Yes.
Slaps so hard. So that's why I was not watching it. But now I'm having FOMO. What is your take on season 2?
Season 2 was a ride. I think it's so crazy how they went from TikTok to now these like big reality stars. I mean, everyone is talking about Mormon Wives. I think
they're
it's
massive.
bigger
Did you see their streaming numbers? It was it was at like 1.05 billion.
That's
streams.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's talking about it right now. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
they were just in Europe for their tour there.
Wait, not for Vanderpump Villa.
Oh, I was talking about Mormon Wives.
No, I know, but they did the crossover to Villa. They went to Europe to like promote their show.
Yeah, because like
Amazing.
I saw a couple of photos with like the Mormon Wives, and like on the bus it says the Mormon Wives, and it's like a photo of all of them on like a couple of buses in London. It looks like.
In a strange way,
That's
I'm
wild.
loving
do you
it.
think they were on a UK like morning show?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm loving it because they're putting Utah on the map. And
They
for
are.
so long, everyone's like, Lauren from Utah, like it's an insult. And now everyone's like, how do I get the Utah wavy curls? And I love their teeth and their skin.
Not
There
the
was-
salon. Don't go to that salon. That was the drama of season 2 because one of the girls does hair.
Isn't it Jessie?
Jessie,
Yes,
right?
Jessie does hair.
I think she's
and
been
then-
doing some dirty. Because there's some tracks that I'm seeing.
I know. Everyone was like the back of Layla's head.
Yeah, her.
Oh,
and then
and
who's
she
the other?
did Layla's
Jen
hair?
Affleck.
Yes.
Her
Yeah,
hair,
her
like
hair.
you could see the tracks. I was like, this
Yeah.
is not good.
But one of the dramas this season was that during a fight, Jen was like, oh, well, Demi told me not to go to your salon. She told me that she didn't like how her hair was, so she warned me not to get my hair done at yours. And like Demi and Jessie are supposed to be best friends. So she was like, why would you say that? You're like taking business away from like my salon. And she was just like, I didn't say it, like it's like getting taken out of context. And everyone's like, girl, like
The only person that I've
you
been-
did your
Who-
friend so dirty.
Who came off worse? Demi or Jessie?
Demi, I think, is
Demi
the one.
is like
I've
the
only
one
been seeing her
that,
getting shit on.
Yeah, everyone is shitting on her right now.
And why?
So not only did she say that about the salon, which everyone's like, okay, you're a bad friend, but then also I'm like, was she being a good friend to Taylor in that moment? And then Taylor outing that is like, I think they all weaponize things that are said in confidence to each other.
Oh, they do for sure.
Welcome to reality TV.
Like,
that's how you get another season,
exactly,
baby.
Like, that's exactly what they do every single time. But I think the part about Demi being very jealous of Taylor and the opportunities that she's been getting, that's been like the biggest thing of the season, because she's like, you know, why was she at the award show presenting like an award and like she's mad at us because we didn't congratulate her. But I feel like she was just mad, like she didn't get that opportunity.
The jealousy.
Totally.
Because she was then like, you know, why is she the one that gets to represent mom talk? Like, do we really want someone like that to represent us, like, in public and stuff? I feel like she was just mad that she didn't get that opportunity.
Not in the light.
Yeah, and then she was like saying she was a fan favorite last season, so like
well, I mean, she went through kind of a lot, and her family's like kind of rude to her.
Yeah.
You slept with him that night. What does that say about
They're
you?
blaming her. They were like, what did you expect?
They're like slut shaming her.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. By the way, let me have Jesse's hair salons back for 5 seconds. These are people who have had babies, and that postpartum shedding, like you can only
Do so
cover
much.
your tracks so much when you don't have a lot of hair to work with. If
I've
someone,
been seeing it a lot. Like, it happens like right here
Right-
for people. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
girl, I don't even want to show you mine. I can't even wear my hair back right now. Like, thank God for Nutrafol, because I'd be fully bald, like probably back to here. But
a
there's
little
only
recede.
so much someone can do. It's like you're coming
Us
in,
girlies
you're
go
wanting
through it.
thicker and longer hair. You're wanting thickness because you're shedding, but I can't cover your tracks if you don't
Yeah.
have a lot of
I-
hair.
Unless you want me to throw some Rogaine in there or something.
I don't know. It's just like, it just happens with having babies and being postpartum. So like, I don't want to say
I
that
like
it
to
has
believe-
anything to do with her salon. She's only working with what she's got in front of her.
I like to believe that she's doing a couple of the girls dirty.
Oh, you're a messy little
Yeah,
bitch.
the ones that she doesn't like. She's like, I'm gonna leave a couple
like,
tracks
I'm
out
just-
for you.
yeah.
Wow.
Did
She
you
won't
see
even notice
Demi
it's back
and
here.
her husband? Did you see the way they met?
which ones?
Demi,
The older man?
Demi and the
No.
husband. He, for everybody that doesn't know, he was on The Bachelor.
Oh.
And Demi, they were like family friends. Could be a little off. I read the headline. She
This
was
is the
the
podcast
one.
of allegedly.
Yeah, of
Allegedly.
allegedly. But allegedly, Demi was the one who was like voting for him to go and do it.
Okay.
Okay.
He
Like,
went and-
nominated him?
Yeah, like nominated to
Okay.
go and do it, and now
They're
they were just like
together.
family friends, and now they're together.
By the way, though, they were doing a before and after of Demi.
She's
Her glow up
banging.
is banging.
She looks so
She
good
looks
this
so
season.
fucking
She's the
good.
hottest one.
She looks
by
so
far.
good this season.
Yeah.
But, and like, there
So
were parts
good.
of her story that I was like, I felt really bad for her this season because she was opening up about infertility and her and Brett are trying to have a baby.
She has one.
She has one, and I think he has 2 sons.
Okay.
I'm
and
pretty
one-
sure. Yeah.
He's like
They're like
He's old.
older.
17.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He has teenagers, and then she has the one daughter, and they're trying to have a baby. And she was like, it's been like a couple years now that they've been struggling.
Oh, that is sad.
And then
sad.
there was like this game that they made them all play where they did like pregnancy test roulette. So all the girls like peed on sticks, and 2 of them were pregnant. But of course, it's Demi that picks up the positive pregnancy test in the game. But it's like not her that's pregnant.
Don't
and
love
so
that game.
She's like crying, and it was really sad. And everyone
What
was
can
like,
we
that's
do
so
to really
effed up that they made
No, that
her do
is-
that.
That's
The show
beyond.
sounds fucking awesome. I'm
no,
gonna go
the
home
producers
and watch it.
are.
I was like, they were so evil
Mwah.
for that.
Chef's kiss.
And then
That
it
is
kind of
so
ruined.
rude.
It like kind of ruined like the other 2 girls like announcing that they were pregnant, because then they feel bad, like she's crying, and then
Yeah.
they have to be like, hey.
But as viewers,
But
we
I'm
really
pregnant.
appreciate the game. As
Yeah.
a viewer, to be, I will really appreciate that game.
Well, I was like, if they really didn't want to say they were pregnant, like just dip that shit in the water. Like what? You didn't have to pee on it for real.
Yeah,
If you were,
pretty-
because one girl was like, I just found out I was pregnant. Like, I don't want to let the girls know yet. It's too early. I was like, but dip it in the water. What? Did they all go in the bathroom together and watch each other pee, or what? You just fake
It's like
it.
prison.
You just fake it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then it'll be negative.
We all get a C.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It is a little prison-y, like a little bit culty, and they like formed
Oh,
this,
I was just
you know,
talking
like,
about like peeing on the stick when they're
no,
watching.
I know,
it.
but it is like, we're gonna see if you pee on it for real. Managing your money shouldn't feel like a constant uphill battle, but between surprise fees, late paychecks, and complicated banking rules, it can be frustrating. That's where Chime comes in. Chime understands that every dollar matters. When you set up direct deposit with Chime, you can get paid up to 2 days early, which can make a big difference when you're planning bills, groceries, or your next vacation. And with qualifying direct deposits, you're also eligible for free overdraft coverage on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. No more stressing about the occasional overswipe. Chime also helps you stay on top of your spending with real-time transaction alerts and daily balance updates, so you always know where you stand. Plus, you get access to over 50,000 fee-free ATMs, which is actually more than the top 3 national banks combined. No monthly fees, no maintenance fees, just tools that help you move forward. To date, Chime has helped Spot members over $30 billion. That's some serious financial momentum. Work on your financial goals through Chime today. Open an account in about 2 minutes at chime.com/Lala. That's chime.com/Lala. Chime feels like progress. What I do like about the show is I think when you have, it happened with sister wives as well. They think that they live a very normal life. Like it's how they've been raised. And then all of a sudden they're on a show and they have the outside world saying, you know that this is not normal.
Yeah.
And a lot of the sister wives like broke free.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, I don't have to live this way. There's like life outside. And so I'm seeing they're always going to have like the residual effect of being in such a culty religion. Like even my dad, who was raised LDS, he left the church at 22, so well before Easton and I were born.
Did he?
Yes.
Because he didn't go on a mission, right?
No.
Oh, I thought he left earlier. Good to know. Learn something.
There were little things throughout our childhood that would be like, why are you, like, this doesn't matter. Why are you feeling guilty about this?
Yeah.
And it's because when you have been raised that way for so many years, it's just kind of like you've been waterboarded and kind of brainwashed into thinking that you should feel shame during certain moments.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with these Mormon wives, and I've noticed it with a few of them already, but I was listening to an interview with Taylor Frankie Paul, and she was talking about how hard it is to kind of get rid of the guilt that she feels because she had the baby out of wedlock. That was a guilt. There's, supposed to be like, you're not supposed to divorce, right? And she had all of these things on top of her family kind of shaming her. And I hope that they don't wear these like indiscrepancies throughout their entire lives. Because the end of the season, there is something about like infidelity between a Vanderpump Villa. It's so weird how the worlds are colliding.
I know. They're all colliding. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
And can I spill like the tiniest bit of tea to you?
Let's hear.
Okay, so my friend Sheena was dear friends with Marciano. Like, I mean, every time he would come out, he would stay with her. We would have barbecues at like where our kids go to school, and he would come to those. Like, he was like in it thick, right? And he was in town for Sheena's birthday, but wasn't invited to her birthday party. And when I'm just about to leave the birthday party, that Demi and her husband show up there.
But the husband is interesting. Okay.
And I'm like, and I have never met them before.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know what Demi looks like because I look at her face and go, whatever you did, it's fucking fantastic. And I want it.
Great.
I want that. But I was like, wow. It's like, it's trickled in so thick that even at a birthday party where there's like 200 people invited, like we can't have them crossing paths.
Interesting.
So how did this season end? Because it ended with a to be continued, is what I heard.
It ended with a to be continued, but one of the big storylines throughout the season was that Jen was talking about Demi when they had gone to Vanderpump Villa. And she was saying that her and Marciano were like being very flirty with each other. He was flirting with her, she was flirting back, and that it was just like kind of inappropriate because she's married. And so at the end of the season, Layla is like, okay, I know Marciano. I want to get the tea directly from the source. We've heard Demi say that Jen is just lying. She's making up these lies about her. And so she's like, I want to ask him. I want to see what his side of the story is. So he's like, well, yeah, like she gets there. I'm flirty. I'm interested. She's like flirting back, but that's not even the real tea. The real tea is that I like was with Jesse. And I'm like, what? Whoa. Because everyone's like, okay, it's only about him and Demi. But there was like, I think one of the girls, this was where it came from. Like Macy does like Sunday, like tea stuff. Like she gets like DMs.
Okay.
And she like reads them and talks about the tea. And someone was saying that they saw like Jesse and Marciano like kiss. And she was like, that's obviously fake. Like deny. Like that's like, we weren't even like in the same place. Like there's just no way. So then at the end of the season, he's like, oh yeah, like we were together.
Like they had sex. They hooked up.
It's like they like were together like romantically in some capacity. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That was I thought that was denied. So what do you mean?
Well, is that the beef then?
It seems like, I mean, it's led to something. There's drama, so much drama now because they're online talking about it. It's like now that the show is ended and it's like out and they can like talk about this.
Yeah.
Marciano's like on Instagram stories and he's like talking about this. He's like, you know, there's lies being said. It's just like crazy. Everything is just crazy right now.
I've heard, this cannot be confirmed, but it also cannot be denied.
Allegedly.
That Marciano has a contract for the next season.
I mean,
so that
makes
means
sense.
that means there's
now
something
that can't
there.
be confirmed or denied.
I mean, it makes sense.
But
I mean,
allegedly it's
in
there.
the to be continue with him being the cliffhanger. He's got to be in the second half.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that they saved this storyline for Mormon wives and didn't give it any light of day on Villa.
Yeah.
Did you watch Vanderpump Villa?
That's why they gave it to Mormon wives.
It's literally like the whole plot of this season. Like they're talking about it in almost every episode.
The villa?
Yeah. And they're showing like little bits and clips here and there of them at the villa.
Well, that's where all the tea went. And
yeah.
And I would say like maybe that's why they got their second and third season all in one, but that happened well after they signed their contracts for 2. And I think that that's how Selling Sunset does their seasons as well.
Yeah.
They film 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Which sounds awesome to just knock it out. But I'm really curious to see like who's going to get divorced next year.
I
Probably
know. Well,
Jessie.
Jessie was not wearing her ring when she went on Vile Files. And they were like, we see you're not wearing your ring. And she was like, we're working through some things right now.
Yeah, you fucking Marciano.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah,
Allegedly.
she hasn't been wearing her ring.
Well, yeah, he's
All
probably,
throughout the
if I
press
was
tour.
her husband, I think I'd be a little bit pissed off.
I'd be a lot
like,
of bit pissed
what?
off.
I'd be saying, get out of my house and go live at your salon. Or get out of our house.
With your tracks out.
Or I'll get out of your
Go
house.
sleep in that
Whatever it
salon
is.
that soon no one will be going to. Maybe he's the one that's telling everyone not to go.
He's like, the tracks are terrible, don't
She's
go.
going to come out. She's like, you guys, we were swingers too. Like, imagine.
You know
That's
what?
her, like, cover story.
That's going to be a cover-up. If they worked through it and then they're going to have something like that.
But I thought swingers had to like do it at the same time, no?
You know, that's the perfect test, though, to see if Jessie actually knows how to do hair. Because if Marciano was pulling on them tracks and they stayed in, I'd say 5 stars. 5 stars, everyone go.
All right, my loves, let's really get into this because I had a major aha moment recently thanks to Joy Women's Wellness. They invited my mom and me to get our blood labs done. And let me tell you, I had a very large, eye-opening aha moment. Have you ever felt like your doctor is just not getting the full picture? Like, that's how I was feeling. But Joy, they tested dozens of biomarkers I didn't even know I needed to pay attention to. Then we met with an amazing telehealth clinician who actually explained everything. Like, they even told us our biological ages. I'm going to leave you to guess about that one. A lady never tells. They broke it all down and built a plan that actually made sense. Brain fog, mood swings, no sex drive, feeling off for no reason. You don't have to live like that. And you're not crazy. If you're going through perimenopause or menopause, I'm begging you, do this now. Save your energy, your sanity, and honestly, maybe even your relationships. Joy makes it so easy. Get your labs done, get the answers, and your treatment ships right to your door. Right now, Joy is offering 50% off all labs at joyandblokes.com/Lala. That's JOI and Blokes, BLOKES.com/Lala. Restrictions apply. All medical services provided by independent third-party providers contracted by Joy.
The Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is how you say his last name, right? Okay, are people on his side or hers?
People are on his side.
It's a little
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, a little bit.
It's a lot of that, right? And I feel like that changed the entire game. That was televised. Everyone was so invested.
Yeah.
Is this happening now? Or are they just getting their ducks in a row? They're in discovery.
The trial is next year in March.
What?
We are so far away from the actual trial happening.
Of 2026?
Mm-hmm. 2026, that's the trial.
So we got a good while.
We've
so
got
they
a
are getting
good
a
while.
lot of ducks in a
Buckle
row.
up, you guys. Like, it's only the beginning, and there's so much drama. It's insane.
How did it start?
So it kind of started, not the legal process, but the drama. It started last summer. The movie It Ends With Us was about to come out, and people noticed that at the beginning of the movie about to come out, Justin and Colleen Hoover, who wrote the book, they're like arm in arm. They're doing like interviews together. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, okay, the movie's actually about to come out, and no one's doing press with Justin. He's doing it by himself. Blake is doing press with like all the other cast members. She's arm in arm with Colleen Hoover. And then the cast starts unfollowing Justin. So everyone's like, okay, something's up. This guy's like bad news. What the heck? And so as this is going on, people are wanting answers. They're not really getting them. It comes out that he was like weird on set, but then there's stories that are coming out that like Blake was kind of controlling the movie, and then people did not like the way that Blake was in these interviews. She's promoting this movie, which is about domestic violence. It's like a big part of the movie, and that's obviously a really serious subject. So when the movie is being promoted as like a rom-com where like wear your florals, grab your besties, like let's hang and have a good time, they're selling nail polish in collaboration with this movie. Everyone's like, ew, I don't like this vibe at all. This feels really inappropriate.
Right.
And she's promoting her hair care line at the same time. Everyone's just like, I don't like this. This is not good. And so then we find, I feel like at that point she was getting like canceled, but she wasn't addressing it at all. In December, this was like in August, like summertime, the movie came out. Then in December, it comes out in this huge New York Times article that Blake, not that like she had filed a lawsuit, but it came out that she had felt her reputation was being purposely ruined by Justin Baldoni and his team.
So she felt that it wasn't that the audience watching was responsible. She felt like a third party was driving the narrative of you're insensitive and promoting shit that has nothing to do with the movie for this movie.
Yes. Like,
understood.
She was blaming Justin for ruining her reputation and having hired this PR team, like this crisis management team, to like plant these stories that were negative about her in the press to get everyone to like hate her. Okay. And she was like, you know, the public didn't hate me because of something I did. It was because of Justin. Everything that him and his team were, you know, having planted, that's why I was getting canceled and like my career is like damaged because of this.
So that's how it started.
This is how it really began. Yes.
And then how soon after did the lawsuit come? Because she claims that he was inappropriate with her on set.
Yes. Yes. So she has said a lot of things. Like, when this New York Times article came out, everyone was reading through her complaint. The New York Times published her complaint on Justin. And everyone was reading through this thinking he is disgusting. I mean, I remember reading it and just being like, everybody needs to see this. Like, everybody that was hating on her needs to read this, because she was talking about having filmed these, you know, scenes, like the birthing scene of the movie, and, you know, she's being shown porn on set, and like his friend is playing the doctor. Like, in this birthing scene, and she's like, he told her like she needed to be naked because his wife was naked when she gave birth, and she's like so uncomfortable. He's improvising scenes where they're kissing, and it was definitely so gross, like the stuff that you're reading about. And then of course the way that the text messages are shown in her complaint and in the New York Times article, it does look like his team was like plotting and planning to like ruin her reputation. Now, Justin then comes back and he's like, like these are cherry picked messages. Like this is not the full context of what happened. And a lot of this is just not true. Like she's trying to ruin my reputation. So then he files this like huge, like $400 million lawsuit against her, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, Leslie Sloan. And he's just like, you guys tried to ruin me. And she tried to take over my movie. And that's simply what happened. And he's exposing the fact that, like, her being married to Ryan Reynolds and her best friend being Taylor Swift, like, she tried to use, like, all these A-list people to, like, pressure me into, like, using her scripts and, like, just completely took over the movie. So then everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, maybe Justin's, like, right. Like, I feel really bad for Justin. And then his team's, like, so vocal. His lawyer is going on like all these interviews, and they release like a unedited scene from the movie where they're filming this dance sequence. And in Blake's complaint, she's talking about the fact that in this scene, Justin was improvising kisses and she was super uncomfortable. And then in the footage, you see that like she's talking to Justin and she's like trying to like direct him. She's like, I think we should be talking in the scene. And he's like, no, I don't think we should be like talking. And like they're trying to dance. And everyone's like, this is just not what she was describing in her scene where he's like being inappropriate.
Right.
And so then everyone starts to question her. And I feel like that's kind of been the thing where everyone's like, there's so much being said. And I think, you know, given the whole press tour and people not really liking her through that, they're just like, I wish she would just own that she may have like had a hand in ruining her own reputation. That seems to be like the public's opinion here.
Right.
Because I feel like at the end of the day, if this, you know, really does go all the way through, you know, she's trying to get it dismissed. But if they go to trial, and even if she wins.
She's trying to get it dismissed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when you know you lost.
She's backtracking. She's saying, I don't want any part of this. And he's saying, you fucked with the wrong person.
Yeah,
I mean, you lied.
She's trying to get it dismissed. There's a California law that protects people who speak out against sexual harassment. If you were like sexually harassed in the workplace, if you come out and sue, then you're protected from like a defamation case. But her team is like, and also like there's a lot of advocacy groups that are on her side, you know, really writing for her in this, where they're trying to say that he's trying to silence like a victim. And so they're trying to get the case tossed out under those terms. But I'm like, I think even if they go to trial and she wins, you know, the public still will be not on her side, which is like, I never want to like talk like that about someone who's coming out and saying something happened to them. But I think like, in this case where people are seeing like the raw footage and it didn't line up with what she originally put in her complaint, and then she came out and like amended her complaint and was like, okay, well, this is what happened.
Yeah, it's almost like we want accountability from her now.
Yeah, I'm like, I think she could take a little bit of accountability for like the way I promoted the movie wasn't great, but at the root of it, like this and this happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like because her and Ryan Reynolds are going on like SNL and they're cracking jokes about like, oh, what have you heard? Like in reference to like them like being in the news and
right.
That's
poking
the
the
stuff.
bear?
Yeah, like that's the stuff that people are just like, there's something about you guys feeling really, I don't know, like you guys are like overly confident that people just don't like. It feels like standoffish.
Like they're untouchable in a sense.
Yeah.
Do you
like they're
think
full
that
of it.
it's going to result in kind of like an Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, we're leaving Hollywood and we don't want any part of it anymore?
I think maybe. I feel like they definitely should take a break and like really not be
They can move to
super
Wrexham.
in the, oh my gosh, for the team.
Yeah.
That show's thriving.
Yeah.
I know. Which some people are like, dang, like I wish this drama
Yeah.
wasn't going on because they really like that. And people
Right.
really like Ryan Reynolds, but like him being in this, everyone's getting like a bad taste in their mouth. And then the whole drama of Taylor Swift being dragged into it has been a whole other thing.
Right, and they're not, I mean, I've heard that T Swift is pissed.
Yes, and her dad is getting involved
Who?
too. Taylor Swift's dad.
Who are they upset with, or who is Taylor upset
Swift has now been subpoenaed or something.
Yes, they've withdrawn it since, like, I think as
was it
like
a deposition
last week.
or something?
Yeah, so basically in some text messages that Blake was talking with Justin, she was saying that, you know, I had these dragons, and she was referencing Taylor and Ryan being like her dragons, meaning like, you know, they're obviously very powerful people. They can either work really great with you, or, you know, I'll pull them out and they're my dragons. And Justin was feeling like threatened a bit that like I have to use Blake's version of the script, or like she's gonna friggin' like use her dragons against me. Like I feel really pressured to go with whatever she's wanting.
I feel like that's some like
She's
mafia
like
stuff.
It
yeah.
was like, what are you talking
I've got
about?
some
She's definitely
dragons
been
if you
clowned
piss me
for it.
off.
Yeah. And so
She thinks she's in Game of Thrones or something?
she did, yeah, she was like, I'm Khaleesi and they're my dragons.
I'm
she's a
rolling
kook.
my eyes.
She is kooking out crazy right now.
Yeah.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
You know, I have not been a fan of hers. Take out what's happening. I just have never really been drawn to her ever since Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I was like,
What about her and Ryan though? Because people have liked them as a couple. Like people have, before all of this, people were like, oh, they're one of like the strong couples in Hollywood. At the Met Gala, people were like, we love them.
I heard he was an asshole.
I've heard
Yeah.
he's an asshole too.
It's in Deadpool. I can't remember his name. He's a very funny. He's got curly hair. He works behind the bar. If you've seen Deadpool, but this gentleman.
Okay, what did he say?
He wouldn't work on like Deadpool 3 or like the other Deadpool Wolverine, and like
yes.
Ryan Gosling and him were kind of going at it. And
By the way, Ryan Gosling.
Love him.
or is that who it is?
I don't
Ryan
know,
Reynolds.
but-
Ryan Reynolds. Sorry,
Oh, well,
he was going at it
out
with
of
Ryan.
the Ryans, I prefer the Gosling.
T.J. T.J. Miller.
Yes, yes.
Him. So he was in Deadpool and Deadpool 2, and he said that like he was the biggest asshole.
Wow.
And like everything, because Deadpool, he like kind of throws shots like he's witty, and it's
Yeah.
you know,
Yes, which
but like he was
Justin
doing
felt was
that.
shade to him.
Yeah, and he was doing it offset.
Oh,
Okay.
So like he was like making fun of him, but like just very raw, dry, like it was on. And he was like, at some point, he was like, "You mean this shit?"
Right.
And so he didn't do Wolverine or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, or Ryan's a dick."
I
He's
do
like,
feel
"I'll
like their
never work with him
humor
again."
just doesn't land these days. Like Blake
No,
and Ryan's like
how
humor.
could it?
No.
You can't have such an abrupt and intense take on something that happened on a film, like you said, that the main thing is about domestic violence. And then when it doesn't really go the way that you thought, start making jokes about it.
Yeah.
And that law that you were talking about, I feel like is that a newer law? I know
I
Joe
think it's
Biden.
newer.
Yeah.
I don't know what year it was, but it is newer, and it's in California only, or like California's one of the states that has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I love that law.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so difficult about this is you really can't say, because none of us were actually there.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective. You can't say that someone shouldn't feel uncomfortable. Like what I may think is not a big deal. Like I remember one of the text messages I think was, you know, he had texted Blake saying, "I'm sure you're pumping your boobs," or "sorry to bother you, you're probably pumping your tits," or something like that. And that was one of the text messages that she submitted. He said there were multiple times that I knocked on her trailer door and she would tell me to come in while she was pumping. Now, it's like, okay, number one, if I'm inviting you in while I'm pumping, great, still doesn't give you the right to text me like you're probably pumping your tits. You know,
Yeah.
like,
It's
this
the
is me.
tits that could have been left off.
And it could have been boobs. It could have.
Well,
It
either
was
of that.
something that made
Just
her feel
pumping.
uncomfortable.
Pumping is just like
Yeah.
you're probably pumping. There, that's not as aggressive as pumping your tits.
I don't know that he said tits.
Even boobs, anything like that.
It made her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Something that would not rock my world in any way could really, really rock someone else's world. And it's no one's, place to say, like, what's not a big deal and what is a big deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand how people are being rubbed the wrong way because of the backtracking and then doing the SNL. It's like, just kind of disappear off the face of the earth. And also, how are you going to refer to T Swift as your dragon and then fuck with her life like that?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, is she pregnant?
Well, it's gotten so dirty, the whole Taylor and Blake of it all, because Justin and his team, they subpoenaed Taylor Swift. And once this happened, then his lawyer comes out and he was like, well, Blake Lively actually threatened Taylor Swift. Everyone's like, what? And Blake's team's like, this is irrelevant. Toss this out.
This is irrelevant.
Irrelevant? Well, not really.
Not true.
His lawyer doubles down. He's like, no. I'll sign under penalty of perjury that this is 100% true. I got a phone call on Valentine's Day from someone very close to Taylor Swift saying that Blake Lively, threatened Taylor and was like, if you do not show support to me, I will leak like 10 years of our text messages will come out. Not like leak, but I don't know if this meant like
blackmail.
Yeah, it was essentially blackmail. But then it came out, this person told Justin's lawyer that previously Blake had told Taylor to delete some text messages between them. I don't know if it's because like someone was about to have her phone or whatnot, but this is apparently something that was said. And he signed. He was like, under penalty of perjury, this 100% happened. And then it came out that it was her dad. Taylor Swift's dad was the one that told Brian Friedman this information. And apparently the subpoena was then dropped because the information was provided. Like whatever they were seeking, I think it was like Page Six reported that whatever they had been wanting from the subpoena like was provided to them. So they dropped the subpoena. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like 100%.
Bury
her. It's like 100%, she's got to be pissed if her freaking dad is getting involved and being like, this is what happened. Because Blake did not go to the Super Bowl, so she still wanted it to seem like her and Taylor were like on good terms, so she wanted Taylor to like show support.
What an exhausting life.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm like, okay, how is all of this like you think like the public is going to like you? Because I feel like she could very much say things happen to her on set. That is so different than like her being like, Justin like ruined my reputation, because I think that's the part that people are like clowning her over. They're like, you did that to yourself. And
totally.
Then even to like right now, people are like, you going after Taylor Swift, who's like super beloved by so many people, ruining her reputation.
Swifties.
There's literally not a worse human to like come
fuck
after
with than Taylor Swift
and her
truly. Swifties.
I'm like,
she's the world's sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really that, and they'll come for me. That's why I always have to say, when I say I wasn't into Taylor Swift, it doesn't mean I didn't like her. She just wasn't in my iTunes.
I love her
say
for
like TLC
kids,
or whatever.
my nieces.
Now,
I don't listen.
Obsessed with her,
Yeah,
so I'll be the Swiftie for us.
Once I had my daughter Ocean, I was like, we're watching YouTube videos and WAP comes on, which, I start twerking too. But I'm like, wait, hold on. We can't have this.
Yeah.
To know that someone like Taylor Swift exists in the world and at such a high level for my kids to watch.
Not even to watch, but like learn after. She creates her own songs, strums.
No, but I mean, watch like even her videos
so
on
talented.
Instagram and like she's truly an inspiring human.
Keeps it PG.
And she keeps it PG. And I do want to ask you very quickly: do you think that she and Travis Kelce are expecting?
I don't think so.
Allegedly, I thought I read something. Allegedly.
Did you read it or hear it? Did you hear it on TikTok?
I think I heard it on TikTok.
Oh, no.
It was like a spiel, and this girl was digging in depth. And
yeah, but where are they? Has anyone seen them?
She was at dinner like
aren't they at her
2 nights
house?
ago.
She had like a little girls' night out.
With Selena and Benny. Yeah.
Benny, give me a call,
but
buddy.
there was a photo of her where she's like walking, and then like she's walking in front of a car, and like the way that the photo is, like the hood of the like the front of the car looked like a bump, but it was
kind of like the Kylie Jenner walking.
Yeah, it was like the car was black and she's wearing black, so it kind of looked like a bump for a second. And someone was like, "Wait a minute!" I thought for a sec.
Oh, she's giving birth to a Subaru.
That happened to Kylie Jenner.
like a
Timothy,
false pregnancy thing.
Yes, but it's like the tiniest little bit of her handbag. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's carrying Timothée Chalamet's
I would
baby.
die. I love Chalamet.
I love them so much.
She looks so happy. She's radiating.
Oh my God, the natural look.
Yeah.
She looks
With
like
the,
at peace.
Yes.
Like the relationship isn't like
hard.
Yes.
It's
There's no
fun.
effort in it.
It
It's
looks
just
fun.
there.
It does look fun, and I love that she reposted that Samantha
Yes!
from Sex and the City clip.
Like, I don't get laid unless the Knicks win.
She didn't get laid.
I know she didn't.
Well, I have
But she did like that first night, so it's fine.
But can I tell you? He's swinging big dick because you don't have someone like Kylie Jenner
That's
who,
taking Tyga, then
we all know what
No.
Tyga's packing with his OnlyFans.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
No,
I had to
Timothy
assume
Chalamet.
Travis.
He gives me
is
Pete Davidson
swinging-
energy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
No, he's got a we'll call him tripod from
Like
now on.
he's handling that ass, and I'm so happy
I'm
for her.
obsessed with them. Like, everything about the two of them, like, I don't know what it is, but when they are together at those freaking games recently, I'm like, she's giving like normal girl.
That's the one thing I love how like
She's just a girl.
dressed up he is in
Just
like
a
all the
girl.
Nick shit, and then she's just like in a like small black,
And she's
or
just, like, taking pics,
Yeah,
like-
No, she's so fucking cute right now.
Yeah.
I'm very, very into it.
Me too.
Do you think that they would have a baby though? The Kardashians are notorious for like, well, Kourtney broke it though.
Yeah, she
Kourtney
did.
did have another baby with her now husband.
Mm-hmm.
But like they've kind of all kept the kids in the fam.
I know. I want them to have a baby though.
I do too.
Not like anytime soon, but like I want it to happen. I want them to last. Yeah.
I guarantee
I
next
need
year
it.
at this time we'll get it. The
After Dune.
reveal, yeah.
After he goes away this summer to film Dune,
We'll
he's
come
gonna
home,
come back and she's
they'll
gonna be like,
doing it.
get over here.
Yes.
I guarantee. And then when he's going and doing the press for Dune, they'll
Reveal it.
reveal it.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed
Marking it now.
with all of this.
Give Them Lala is sponsored by BetterHelp. Men today face immense pressure to perform, to provide, and to keep it all together. So it's no wonder that 6 million men in the U.S. suffer from depression every year, and it's often undiagnosed. It's okay to struggle. Real strength comes from opening up about what you're carrying and doing something about it so you can be at your best for yourself and everyone in your life. If you're a man and you're feeling the weight of the world, talk to someone. Anyone, a friend, a loved one, a therapist. Therapy empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it's for everyone. With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. Join a session with a therapist at the click of a button and switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GTL. That's betterhelp.com/GTL.
Okay, so before I let you go, I have some questions that I want to wrap the episode up with. And then you guys, I'm going to keep Kristi on for the bonus where we can deep dive into the Diddy stuff because
That's a lot.
it's a lot. So the first question is, how do you feel about Justin Bieber / the Hailey Bieber situation?
Listen, this is a wild situation because I feel like ever since Hailey did the road deal, the like $1 billion sold road to Elf
How long ago was that?
last week.
Okay, so a week ago she sold Road
Yes.
to
To
Elf.
Elf.
for $1 billion.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that mean she gets $1 billion?
No.
There's gonna be some.
There's like a
you gotta pay out
breakdown.
your like team.
Yeah, and like
there's a
the
lot.
investors.
Oh, so she'll
I
only
think
get like a
it's-
cool 500 mil or
there's-
something.
Yeah, just a little crumb, you know?
Yeah, just a crumb of it.
Yeah. It's that I think has gotten her a lot of respect. And so people were in her comments like, divorce him, babe. Like, you don't need him. Like, we love you. You're icon queen. Like, be a single mom.
She didn't
like,
need him to begin with.
I know, but it's so crazy because I'm like, usually Justin is the one that's getting comments like, divorce her, you're unhappy. And so now she's getting these comments. I'm like, what? They can never win
No.
anytime.
But also, I feel like poor Justin right now, just reliving everything that he probably lived with the Diddy shit, now resurfacing, reliving
I think he
it.
was exposed to a lot as a very
Yeah,
young
No,
child.
he was, for
His,
sure.
And-
his team has commented on that though, they said that he wasn't like involved in that. I mean, they kept it very PR, so they were like he wasn't involved.
Was
Right.
it not? Because
But
there's that
everyone
weird
online is,
video
like,
where
I
he's
know,
like,
he's,
I
like,
got
patting
Bieber for the
him
next.
down.
Well, that was for a while, but there was another video, and this is when Bieber is like 14, 15, and he was like, I got Bieber for the next 48 hours. You got a Lambo to drive, and it was just him, and they were like, we're gonna go crazy, we're gonna make hits.
Yeah, he bought him a car.
Yeah, and it's like you.
There's also that interview where, and I forget who, maybe it was Conan, but he says like, what is a night with Diddy? You know, like, what do you guys do? And it was just like a really fun, playful question, you know?
Yeah.
And Diddy was like, he knows better than to talk about what he does when he's with Uncle Diddy or something. Allegedly, he said that. Allegedly, I watched this, and allegedly that
he did
was
say
what
that.
happened.
That was not allegedly. I saw that too. That
I
was
did.
said.
I saw that.
And Justin's kind of like feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because there were so many things that we'll deep dive into on the bonus.
Yeah.
That started coming out during the pandemic. I feel like that's when conspiracy theories really
No one had anything to do
Yeah.
but just search the web.
Right, but a few of these conspiracy theories have
hit.
really come to fruition. It's like, oh shit, this was real life happening.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like conspiracy theorists are so on the nose that there's a plant in there that gives them a tidbit to make conspiracy theorists look crazy, where it's like, okay, you had me until
Yeah.
you told me that like Tupac is alive on an island making beats. You know?
Yeah.
It's like AI. You don't know what to believe now.
You don't know
Yeah.
what to believe. The next question that I have for you is, this was mind-blowing. First of all, I had no idea that Pride was last weekend. I went to the desert. I was straight chilling with my kids, and I'm looking, and I see one of our old Vanderpump producers post a picture, and she's like got her walkie on, and it says Pride 2025, and then it says Sir in the corner, and it was like such a bittersweet thing to see. I'm like, because we hadn't filmed Pride in years because we hadn't worked at the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew that Pride was happening. And then y'all walk in here and tell me that Jojo Siwa comes out as a straight person on Pride. WTF, mate.
Yeah. Jojo.
I just picture
Where
her
to
still
begin?
with big bows. I can't.
I know. I mean, when she gets on stage, she's still rocking like the glitter. It's very kiddie. But she's a bad girl. She's a bad girl now. And she's really bad. When she was on Celebrity Big Brother UK, she was getting very close with Hughes from Love Island. They're 10 years apart, so some people find this a little creepy. But they got very close. Jojo had a partner at the time, but while on the show, Chris and her are like in the bed cuddling, back scratches, forehead kisses. Everyone's like, this is really intimate. Gets off the show, breaks up with the partner, and is like, yeah, Chris and I are just really close friends, soulmates. But everyone's like, you guys are freaking dating. Like, this is weird. Like, this is not normal. And he goes to visit her like last weekend or something in Mexico while she's on tour. There's a picture of them kissing in the pool. And then,
But they're just friends.
Yeah, it's solely platonic. And then this week he posts a picture of them in bed together, and she like it doesn't look like she has a top on. They're like in bed, her arm is like on his chest, and he's kissing her forehead. And then the next day she's like, yeah, it's not platonic.
No, you don't say. So did everyone think that she was still with her partner while they were hanging out?
Well, when she was on Big Brother, she still had a partner.
Okay.
But you could
At
see
the
that was
wrap
falling
party.
apart.
Yeah, at the rap party, that's when Jojo broke up with Kath.
And how long ago was
so
that?
fucked up.
This was all like April.
So like not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
I just looked at his Instagram, and she is plastered all over it.
Yeah. And like with her family.
Yeah.
What does she look like now? Does she still look like Jojo Siwa?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
You
It's
guys,
weird.
my
Jojo.
favorite Jojo Siwa moment is Kim Kardashian taking North. And she's like, my
I
mom says you
know.
talk too loud. And she's like, I didn't say that. I said you need to talk loud like her. You need to be louder like her.
North lives to expose Kim. It's great.
No,
We're
she
all
was-
here for it. We're all here for it.
Yeah, that was the craziest story.
I really don't understand. Like, do you think she's trying to be relevant? Is she confused? She too is a child star from like dance
How
moms.
old is she right now?
She's just turned 22, like a week ago.
Oh, I was eating cookie at 22, I think.
Jesus
Just a little
Christ. Moving on.
confused. You know what she is? Probably drunk, allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's
Yeah.
the
Good for her.
drink gets you discombobulated. I will say. Any hints on where Benny and Selena will get married?
I don't
Benny's
know.
hometown.
I could see them doing something super low key and super private, but I don't know because I feel like she's loving him like super out loud. She might want to do something huge. But
I know.
I feel like it's
See
cute
a
if it's
Greece
intimate.
wedding?
I was gonna say like Italy.
Okay.
I'm going Greece.
But we are going international for the wedding.
I think Benny I have a feeling, just knowing Benny like I do, we
Yeah.
talk all the time. I have a feeling that he loves her so much that he would like to do something like low key, but I think he would love to do something for her.
Yeah.
And that
For a
would
moment,
be,
I didn't understand it. I was like,
Oh,
what?
yeah, me too.
I
no
think
one
that
did.
was everybody.
But then you watch his TikToks and you're like, I want to
Yeah.
date this man.
It was him on those podcasts when he was doing press for their album and
Yeah.
he was talking about her. I was like, you guys, like, I freaking get it. He's like,
Yeah.
I just know, like, she wants me to call her before she goes to bed every night because, like, you know, she wants to hear my voice and all that stuff. And it's all about communication. I was like, wait,
you see
like,
the prom that
I,
they-
like, love this man.
Did you
That's
see
when
the
they
prom
got
that
me
they went
too.
on?
Yes, he took her to prom. She'd never been to prom.
How wild is that?
And he did it. Huge limo, dressed up. They went into a mall to like
You
one
know,
of those
take pictures.
photos.
like the JC Penney type pictures.
It was so great.
No, that's when I fell for him too. Was
Yeah.
during their whole like press run for their album together. It was like so cute, and I
Yeah.
sat there and was like, I totally get this. She probably for the first time feels safe with someone. I think that whole Justin Bieber situation threw her for a loop.
Yeah.
For sure.
No one won in that situation, by the
No.
way. Like even Hailey Bieber was being, okay, but is Biebs and like Kendall Jenner like a little bit mean to her? Like are
To-
those to Selena Gomez? Like are those photoshopped, those moments of like anytime she enters the red carpet and they see that she's arrived where they're kind of like, ugh.
Oh, they're like giggling and stuff.
Yeah, is that real or
I mean,
are we just all so bored that we need to create drama in
The
other
AI,
people's
you
lives?
never know. Telling you.
I think it could have definitely been real that like there was shade or mean girl energy towards Selena because of like, I don't know. I feel like everyone was also young in the situation that if your friend or you are like with someone and you see like their ex, like you're probably not saying like a nice thing about them. And there is like online stuff of like them throwing shade or liking shady posts. And I believe that stuff to be real. I feel like they've all moved past it by now. But people are so like hung up on the spectacle of like Justin and Selena that they'll hold on to like any bit of like drama and
Yeah, and it was like
anything.
such young love.
yeah.
It's wild to think about these celebrities because they're just displaying like regular behavior, right? That we
Yeah.
all have the luxury of doing kind of behind closed doors with our friends.
Yeah.
But I mean, these people have been super famous since they were teenagers.
Yeah.
And we've like watched it's crazy to look at them and be like, you're like a solid 10 years younger than me. And have lived way more life than I probably have.
It's crazy to think about what they've like had to do and like the situations that they've been in. I mean,
Yeah. Like I try to think about my time being like that age and you know it's like, oh, you know Michelle's coming to so and so's party tonight. For them it's like, did you hear she's coming to Vogue tonight? She's
Yeah.
coming to Vanity Fair. It's like, what the fuck?
Very different worlds
so
for me.
dystopian. I mean, even just like, and then like with you talking about Diddy, like that's like a teenager hanging out with like a grown ass man. Like that's not happening in real life.
Thank you.
But
And
everyone's
if it
like,
were,
I'm a
it'd
grown-ass
be
man.
weird.
I'm not
It'd be
inviting a
very weird.
15-year-old to come to my house to party.
Just like the lines were so blurred back then. Now I don't think anyone would let that type of stuff slide.
Not at all. I mean, I think my mom was letting me kick it with like, when I was like 14, I was going with like 18-year-olds.
Oh,
And that's bad, but it's like Not even like.
Yeah, but now that I have a daughter, if she was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah, it's
going
like,
with
no.
Scott, he's a senior, and she was like in the 7th grade, I'd be like, you're fucking tripping, bro.
Yeah.
You're not
I'd be
going
like,
anywhere
who
with
is Scott? And
Scott.
I need to have a fucking talk with this guy.
Conversation
Yeah.
with him.
What are you doing, Scott?
Yeah, and my 9 like, what do you want with my 14-year-old? You perv.
Seriously.
Different world. I about fell out of my chair the other day when I saw that Savannah, is that her name? Savannah Kristi?
Oh, yes.
Went on her Instagram with a MAGA hat saying that she just got a call from the president and he's pardoning my parents. And she goes, they could be home as soon as tonight or tomorrow. I'm like, oh, wow, they like really get the ball. Like a pardon.
Like she put the work in. She put the work in being a Trumpy for this moment.
Is that why? I mean, they've always been conservative, right? Like she wasn't
I
a
think so,
hardcore
yes.
Trumper because
I think, did she speak at something? Yes, she spoke at something related to the Trump campaign.
yeah.
She spoke at the Republican National Convention.
So did Amber Rose. How?
That's true. Maybe she's
That is
trying to get someone
wild.
off the hook too.
You know what? Not
Lil
about.
Durk.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the hustle. Like that takes some stamina and tail between the legs. But I was confused because I felt like it was so black and white what the Kristis were doing. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that was just Trump being appreciative for the amount of work that family put in? I mean, even what's her name?
How
Jason
much-
Aldean's wife went on Instagram.
How
and
much
she
did
was
the
like,
family give to Trump? Do we know any of that?
That I'm not.
Maybe
that
that's
I don't
why
know.
they're getting a pardon because it was on tax, right? Tax evasion and shit.
shit.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
how much money were they, feeding Trump's campaign, and then they got caught, and Trump's like, they gave me over $100 million. I have to pardon these people.
Where did they get their money?
Well, not paying taxes.
I
just
only know them
sound
from
like-
reality TV.
See, I go down
Yeah, I only
rabbit
know them
holes.
from reality TV. But I'm like, I was shocked. I was just like, that's random. But like, I guess,
Out of all the people that you could pardon.
yeah.
The only one that makes sense is like Kim Kardashian and who she chooses to pardon.
Well, I don't
Or
think she's
like-
pardoning
Yeah.
anybody.
Well, no,
she's
but,
like
like,
doing
she's-
prison
And
reform
she's
and
like
shit.
trying with like actual people that
Yeah.
she believes do
We're
not deserve.
wrongfully
Yeah.
convicted, and it's like that's who we need to be getting
Yeah.
out of the system.
And even still,
not
like, there's been
these people.
cases where she hasn't been able to get them out. And so it's like, then it's
It's so beyond crazy to me. And then to see Jason Aldean's wife go on and be like, we've been close with the Kristis for quite some time. We're so grateful for the Trump administration for making this pardon happen. It's like a different world.
Yeah,
It is
I
a
want to chase the
different
dollar. That's where I
world.
think we're gonna get some answers. Is chasing
Yeah,
the
I
dollar of
think
how
so.
much did they give the Trump campaign?
Well, by the way, that's just textbook. You always follow the money. Like money is the most powerful thing in the game.
Mm. the
it gets
root of
you
all
out.
evil.
yeah.
It's the root of all evil. My most favorite headline, probably of all time, to be honest, was that Todd Kristi was not happy in prison.
You don't say.
Did they also give like the menu for that article? Because in some of the articles they'll be like, this is what Diddy's eating in prison on Thanksgiving, and then it's like on the menu we have potatoes, your home style mac. Like,
Wait, really?
They're
Yes.
getting menus in prison.
Like the publication will like print like what's on the food menu. Like,
I think
for
it
the
really
week.
depends on what type of prison we're
And
talking.
I bet you,
There's
like in that article, they were like, he did not like the applesauce.
no, he didn't like the food.
Yeah.
No shit. Like, what did you think? You were coming to Lone Star Steakhouse. This is
You're
a
at the
prison, bitch.
Ritz-Carlton. You're shitting and pissing next to your buddy.
You know what's wild to me though is you will have to do more time in prison when you rob Uncle Sam than if you do not good shit with like
Like battery.
underage or
Yeah.
like assault and battery.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Like I've heard of people who are like getting out of prison after 15 years after they murdered somebody.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't understand how people have to identify as like what is it?
You have to
sex
identify
offender?
as a sex offender.
They should never be out.
Right.
Why is that a thing? You should never be out.
That's like pretty much a slap on the wrist, and then you don't pay your taxes and they're sending you to the slammer and throwing away the key. However, I don't think like if you're in prison for murdering somebody, you're not getting a menu. You're having moldy bread and bologna.
No, yeah.
My final question for you, if you could pick any reality show to watch, like it's your go-to, you're not watching for homework, you're
Okay.
strictly watching to
For
enjoy.
joy.
What is your go-to?
I'm really big into like reality game shows.
Okay.
And like Big Brother. I will watch every single one of those episodes all summer long. And then Love Island. I'm about to be clocked into Love Island. It's starting this week.
People love Love Island.
My friend just went out to do it. It's in Fiji or something like that.
Yeah,
Selly.
yeah.
Do they
I don't
always
know
have?
if you know. Yeah.
Wait,
Selly.
your friend is on
that's
it?
tea,
Yeah,
I
Selly.
fear.
Yeah, I met her through Calvin Cobb, who was on season 5, 4.
I don't know. I feel like
Wait,
They
they
were
she's
on the
just, like,
same season together.
Hosting. I think she
She's
was
just
like,
hosting
yeah,
it.
she was like hosting stuff
Yeah,
last
she's
season
just
for it
doing,
too. Like the
Who
after
was?
show.
Sully?
Selly.
Selly.
Yeah.
How, Easton, you're like really clocked into the reality world because
got
you
this shit on
also
lock.
know
Miranda.
the new girl on Mormon Wives.
Yeah, Miranda. I love Miranda.
She was like on the first season of Love Island USA.
Miranda?
Miranda
No,
was?
Selly.
Oh, Selly.
Oh,
Yeah.
She
Selly.
was on it with Calvin, my buddy. That's how I know
Okay.
her. And then they offered her like
Yeah.
kind of like a spokesman type thing
Yeah,
to go back and do it
yeah.
this season. So she's
Got
doing
it.
But yeah, no, Miranda on Mormon Wives, like I love her. I talked to her and you because she was like, "Do I do season 2?"
Yes.
And I said, "Yes, just whatever the worst thing that you could ever imagine coming out. If you're all right with that coming out,
Yeah.
do it."
You know, I really appreciate her relationship with her co-parent, her ex-husband.
Yeah,
They
no.
do like TikToks together that I think are really funny.
Yeah.
You can just tell that it's healthy because the kids are healthy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you can tell.
That's the hardest part is
Right?
getting that
No,
whole
Miranda,
situation.
I will say, like she's got a soft spot for me, yeah. I love her.
Or
to
you
death.
have
She's
a
been
soft
getting
spot
good
for
I have a
feedback.
soft spot
People
for
liked
her.
her this
Yes.
season.
Yeah, no, she really was amazing.
It's
Well-
always good when someone are like, I thought she was going to be the villain and I ended up like loving her.
Oh, that is the best feeling.
I'm like, she must be like,
for
thank
her.
God.
Yeah,
Right? Well,
exactly.
that was the thing because she was the OG, so everybody was like, we're going to hate her because she's going to come in and like
Ruin the
spin
dynamic.
it all and
Yeah.
all of that. And I think she played it very well
Yeah.
from the
Good.
2 episodes I've seen.
And
The
by
rest
the
of it's
way,
good, too.
Yeah.
they're all very fun to look at.
Yeah.
Like,
Utah women are very, very beautiful.
I'm not mad at how anyone looks.
I'm obsessed with the Utah like whole culture, the bubble, the influencer of it all.
It's
Like I
weird,
don't know
huh?
if you guys know who Aspen Ovard is, but I
No.
am so locked in on her life. She's a Utah YouTuber.
Okay.
But she was married, she has 3 kids, and then all of a sudden, like, she got divorced, and it was like the most shocking thing ever. The day she announced she gave birth to her baby, her 3rd baby, like, she filed for divorce, and everyone was just like so shook. But she was
What a bad bitch.
in the 2nd season of Mormon Wives, like just for a second. She
Yeah.
was at the Halloween party.
She's like holding her newborn baby in the hospital and like
With
signing
signing
divorce
the divorce
papers.
papers.
Honestly, though, yeah.
Security guard
They
outside
got
the
to
door.
get a
Dad ain't
NBA
allowed in.
young boy on there.
Post Malone?
He lives in Utah.
I'm sure she has no idea who
Right.
NBA young boy
And
is.
she knows who NBA young boy is. TMZ.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, just a rap.
Well, yeah.
But he lives in Utah.
Wow.
Yeah. Get
You
him
know,
on the show.
I gotta
That'll
get out
blow
there
up.
and go to Swig.
Hey, we'll take you anytime. We
I
would
want to
love
try
it.
the stupid cookie from Swig.
We'll take you and we'll have a heyday.
Yes.
You guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. You were fucking fantastic.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You guys,
great.
stay tuned for Monday's bonus because we're balls deep in Diddy.
We're balls deep in the diddler.
Benting that shit right over. And we'll catch you next week for a regular old episode. Bye. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Did I get all 3? I'm getting really good at that.